Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Coach Baseball Right podcast. I'm your host and founder of Coach Baseball Right, Steve Nicolarat. Join us as we go inside, outside, and all around baseball, discussing how to coach baseball the right way. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the very first Coach Baseball Right podcast. My name is Steve Nicolarat, founder of Coach Baseball Right. Hey, there are three things that I want to do with this podcast this week. I'd like to basically introduce myself to you, and then I want to talk to you a little bit about the what and the why with Coach Baseball Right. So first of all, who am I? I'm a teacher. I'm a coach. I'm a dad. I'm a grandpa. I'm a guy who likes baseball like almost everyone out there who's listening. If you go to the Coach Baseball Right website and check out my bio, you'll see a few things there. You'll see that I received a baseball scholarship to St. Louis U back in the mid-'70s. I coached baseball at St. Louis U High for 39 years. We had a very successful program. We won lots of games, but the most important thing I think I did with the kids was help them become better young men. I'm in a couple different Hall of Fames. I have some really nice awards that were given to me, and I'm really proud of those awards. I've ran baseball camps in the St. Louis area for over 30 years. I'm one of 7 nationally certified Epstein hitting instructors, and to be honest with you, I had or have a passion for officiating. As a kid, I was an umpire. I did a lot of games when I was a kid. I was either playing ball or I was umpiring. And when I was in college playing for St. Louis U, my coach was nice enough to give me 2 weeks off to go head down to Al Summers Umpire School, which later became Harry Wendelstedt Umpire School. I couldn't stay for the entire 6-week program, but I stayed for the first 2 and really got a taste on what it was like. I was a major college basketball official in the 80s and early 90s. I guess maybe if you asked me what the highlight of my career was probably a game I did in December of 85 or 86. It was the very first game of the season for CBS. It was Arizona at Georgetown in the old Cap Center. And I really, really enjoyed working basketball, and I worked in the Metro Conference and the Big 8 Conference, just to name a few. I also was a Division II football official. I was a back judge. And one of the most fun memories I have of that was something called the Palm Bowl. You guys who live in Texas, near McAllen, I think you would remember the Palm Bowl was the Division II National Championship game. And I worked the 85 game between, I believe it was North Dakota State and North Alabama. At St. Louis U High, I teach computer science. And I've always enjoyed learning new things about computer science and trying to figure out ways to give it to the kids. And believe it or not, that's really helped me in my coaching. The ability to teach computer science and then to use some of those same skills out on the baseball field. I'm a dad, 4 kids, and now I'm a grandpa with our 9th grandchild to be expected here in March. I've coached my own kids like many of you, and now I get a chance to watch my grandkids play. I'm married to a wonderful lady who is also a coach. And so we get a chance to share some pretty interesting stories about coaching issues. And I want to start this podcast off by saying to you what I've told my students in class and what I've told my players on the field. I pride myself on being a good computer science instructor and being a good baseball coach, but to be very honest, the most important thing that I do with the kids probably has very little to do with computer science or with baseball. It has a whole lot more to do with helping kids grow up. As far as my baseball program, I built my program on hustle, on being prepared, on team, and having fun. The school I work at, St. Louis U High, is a school that is the kind of school that kids that have a high academic profile, they attend. It's not an open admission school. So we need to find ways to compete with the other schools by tapping into our strengths. And I think I was always able to do that, to try to get our kids to be extremely well prepared. Many times we would play teams that were better than us, but the goal was was to beat them in practice. And what I mean by that is we wanted to practice the right way so that when we competed in a game, our goal was simply this. We wanted to play better than the other guys did for 90 minutes. And if we made the routine plays, if we threw the ball to the right base, if we got good pitches to hit, if we did a good job with our bunting and situational hitting, and if we thought a play ahead, we stood a good chance to beat a team that was better than us. And that was our goal, simply to play the game better than our opponents did for an hour and a half, even if they were better than us. And that gave us a really, really good chance to compete well. I guess it was sometime in the early 2000s that I asked myself, hey, I need to continue to improve my coaching. We were built around pitching, defense, base running, aggressive base running, and we bunted a lot. But I needed to improve our offensive area of the game. And it was in the early 2000s that I came across Mike and Jake Epstein. And those guys really have had a huge impact on me and what I teach when it comes to hitting, and in fact, how I teach it. And I will be always appreciative to those fellows for what they gave me and shared with me about hitting. I remember specifically my frustration here in the Midwest when watching my kids play. And, a lot of the kids on your team, they all go to different private instructors, and so many kids were swinging down on the ball. They were trying to swing down and generate backspin, and it just didn't seem like it was the right thing. So I decided to go head out and improve my coaching skills, and I think that was certainly an area that I was able to improve upon. I see sports from a variety of different perspectives, right? As a coach, as a former player, as a dad, as a grandpa, as a spouse, I've seen it from so many different perspectives that what I'd like to do with you is try to improve and give you some outlook and some perspectives from a different point of view. I want you guys to be able to learn from some of the good things that I've done and also learn from some of the mistakes that I've made. When we add up all these experiences, I think I can provide for the audience a perspective that's unique, entertaining, and most importantly, beneficial to coaches, parents, and athletes today. So that brings us to the next part of our podcast, talking about why coach baseball right, and why take the time at this point in my life to really develop coach baseball right. The answer is simple. I have lots of experiences as a player, head coach, official, spouse of a coach, parent, and grandparent. And I wanted to provide these experiences as resources for you guys to draw upon so that you can maybe take some of the good things that I've done and maybe avoid some of the bad things that I've done. I'm concerned that as clubs become more dominant, some people might be left out. They can't afford to give their kid the opportunity to play where there's good coaching. And I wanted to provide an alternative for those people. I was also concerned that as we get into the club world where people pay for exposure, the focus is more eye-centered instead of team-centered. And I wanted to provide a voice that challenges that mindset. I want kids to play to experience what it's like to be part of a team. That it's not about what they're doing, it's about how their team is performing and what they're doing to make their team better. I wanted to provide for that dad who had to make a choice between maybe letting his kid go to the club world or maybe coaching him one more year. I wanted to give that dad a chance to continue to coach, knowing that he was giving his kids great teaching and great coaching. I wanted to provide resources for him to continue. I wanted to provide a resource for high-level coaches, a place where they could go and find a specific drill or two to improve maybe something that they're teaching, or maybe it's the way they're teaching it. I also wanted to provide a resource for coaches that were just starting out and they needed a place to go where they can feel like there's somebody there or something there that is giving them a solid foundation as they embark on their coaching. I wanted to provide opportunities for all of us to think about why we coach and what's really the most important thing we actually do. You know, when it's all said and done, I really believe the kids, they don't remember much about the drills we did or sometimes even the fundamentals, but I think they remember a lot about how we did what we did. And they learn a lot about life through their successes and their failures. So what is it? What's the reason why we coach? Is it all about winning? Is it all about our kid? Or is there something deeper to it? I wanted organizations to begin to think about how to start baseball right. You know, too many coaches, or too many organizations, I should say, simply tell their young 4 and 5 and 6-year-old coaches, hey, go ahead and do this game. 12 versus 12, one ball. This is the way it was when I got in. This is the way it's going to be for you. And this is what it's going to be next year when somebody else does it. And I'm wondering, is that good enough? Shouldn't we figure out a better way to start baseball right for our kids? Don't they deserve it? Doesn't the game deserve it? I wanted people to come to my website, Coach Baseball Right, take a look at the specific Start Baseball Right section, and begin to change how we introduce baseball and softball to our young kids. I also want to challenge organizations and facilities to actually have them take the responsibility to provide resources for their coaches. The reason coaches don't improve over time in many cases, not all, because there are some great coaches out there, I know that, but the reason a lot of people don't improve is that they're not given any opportunity to improve. They're provided no resources other than a 1 hour or 2 hour clinic, which most people don't attend, and they're provided no expectations to improve. I'd like to change that. I'd like to have organizations provide the resources for the coaches to improve and also provide the expectations that the coaches improve. Recently, I had a really tough decision in my life. I could continue coaching at St. Louis U High for my 40th year. I have a very good ball club coming back. I have a bunch of great kids I'm working with. Or I could step away and spend more time developing Coach Baseball Right. I decided to step away and develop Coach Baseball Right so that I can deliver this to you guys. I want to make sure that the game we give our kids is the very best experience we can provide. I want to make sure that organizations provide the very best experience for the coaches. And I want to make sure our parents can provide the opportunity for their kids to grow through baseball. So that brings us to the question, what is Coach Baseball Right? Simply put, it's an online resource for coaches and parents. The overall mission of Coach Baseball Right is to help organizations, coaches, and parents transform their kids' baseball experience and development. 10 years ago, when we started this program, we actually started it by making a DVD. It didn't take us long to figure out that DVDs weren't where we wanted to be. So we eventually moved over to a website and Coach Baseball Right. Now, what is it that Coach Baseball Right can provide? First, we have certifications. We have 3 different levels of certifications for organizations and facilities. We also have memberships. We have a pro membership, which is basically a year membership, or a Hall of Fame membership, which is a lifetime membership. And these memberships allow total access to our program. We have over 300 drills that you can use for your practices or backyard usage. These drills cover infield, outfield, catching, base running, and hitting. These drills are really progressive drills that we try to use to teach skills. We have a practice builder where you can actually go ahead and simply select the drills you want and build a practice. We also have 3 different kinds of practice templates. We have a beginning strand, we have sort of a moderate strand, and we have an advanced strand. And depending on your specific level, your specific need, you can choose up to 10 different practice templates for each of those 3 categories. We have coaching guides. We have a coaching academy that discusses cuts and relays, bunt defenses, and rundowns. So if you're new to coaching, this information is readily available. We have a pretty nice hitting program. We're just in the process of releasing our second version of Swing Like a Pro, which is our home hitting program. It's a 20-day program that really takes the parent and the student and in a step-by-step progressive way teaches you how to create a swing and how to understand your swing. We also have an online hitting academy where you can send us videos, we annotate, and then we actually suggest very specific drills to work on your weaknesses. If you're an organization and you're looking for a clinic or a seminar, we can provide that. We also have some recorded clinics and seminars that are available to you on our website. We have blogs. We cover things like pitching backwards or playing time or opportunities to grow through disappointment, all sorts of things that allow you to have a better experience with the kids. And now we're embarking on our podcast. I know you're wondering why. Why a podcast? Well, people are always on the go, and we've done videos. We have a support Facebook group with over 13,000 people. We have a Facebook page with about 36,000 folks. We have Twitter followers in the thousands. We have our blog, and it's up and running, and the natural progression is a podcast. We're trying to reach people where they are in their lives, meeting the needs that they have when it comes to spending time with their kids. Our podcast will provide fun, informative discussions about baseball, coaching baseball, parenting baseball, and enjoying the game of baseball. I also just want to mention that if you're interested in sponsoring a podcast, please make sure to let us know. I hope you join us as we go inside, outside, and all around baseball discussing how to coach baseball the right way.